I live my life knowing that three things are true. Numbers have letters, letters have colors, and colors have opposites.
Adamant.
Adamant or adamant.
Adamant, adjective, refusing to be persuaded or to change one's mind.
And I am, adamant.
She was adamant about this.
I'm adamant.
And she was adamant, absolutely adamant about who you are.
He's adamant about it.
Of course I'm adamant. I'm right.
You're listening to the Adamant Podcast, the only podcast where being right and being adamant are the same thing. Now here's your host, Adam Alexander.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Adamant Podcast. My name is Adam Alexander, and I'm your host. Thank you guys so much for downloading and listening to the Adamant Podcast. This is the midweek episode. I'm just going to peek my head in this week, chop up a few things, and then keep it pushing. I know it's Thursday, but still, Thursday's midweek, but by the time you listen to this, it's Friday, which is the day before the weekend. But either way, the point is the midweek episode is to help me get my podcasting chops back. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, get me back to the point where I can think a thought and say a thought lickety split, just like that. Because there was a time when I could do that. Now I got to dust off. I got to shake the dust. It involves rust. See, stuff like this won't happen if I keep getting my reps in. And that's what the midweek episode is. It's me getting my reps in. There's no outline. There's no real structure. I'm just going to do it. All right. So let's keep it. Let's get to it. Let's keep pushing. How was your week going? Good. That's good. That's great. That's great. I know what you think. You're like, Adam, how's your week going? I saw the Celtics just took a hard loss to the Sixers there. They were 3-1, and now they're going to Game 7. They were up 3-1. Now they're going to Game 7. Adam, you must be devastated. I'm not devastated. I'm sad, a little scared, but not devastated. I don't know. My buddy was like, "Hey, man, it's okay. You know, we don't make it easy on ourselves. You know, so it's like it's gonna be okay." I just don't like it's NBA playoffs. And I don't like the first round taking us all 7 games. You're supposed to get out of the NBA playoffs in about 5 games tops and then just rest until the second round. But now we got to go all 7, shorter rest before the second round. That's just ridiculous. And, it's just the risk of not even winning Game 7. Right now I'm acting like we're going to win Game 7, but this is ridiculous. And then the Red Sox, I'm a Boston fan. All right. Go Celtics, go Red Sox, go Pats, of course. And Bruins, I'm always hoping you do well. I really tried to become a hockey fan. I think it was like 2016. I was like, all right, let me sit down and watch hockey. And it wasn't confusing. And it was interesting. I just wasn't getting it. I just didn't understand it. So I didn't make it. All right. But you guys look like you're really doing some stuff, so keep it up. Matter of fact, I think the Bruins are in the playoffs right now too. Let me look. I got all the information in the World Machine right in front of me. So let me just put NHL. See, I know that much about hockey. I know the name of their league. Let's see. I'm looking for the B, as in Be Strong, Boston. Be Strong, Celtics. That's all you got to do. The Buffalo is up 3-2. And the Bruins, then they play again tomorrow. I might watch that game. So just to get some hometown. Anyway, you didn't talk. This isn't a sports podcast. It's not even a basketball. I'm not a basketball fan from like I used to be. Like I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I'm Gen X, and Gen X had the best basketball this planet will ever see. Maybe it might see some better basketball in the future, but the basketball you have now is nothing compared to the basketball we had then. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. I don't even like the Lakers, but those Lakers were wow. All right, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Then in the late 80s, early 90s, the Detroit Pistons, there can never be another basketball team like them. They would have to hand out assault charges after every freaking game. That team was so mean and brutal. Bill Laimbeer, John Sally, Isaiah Thomas. There was another guy. There was a bunch of them, and they came up with the Jordan rules. They just beat you up if you came in the paint. It was just great. It was great basketball. Michael Jordan is the GOAT as far as I'm concerned. I really don't like to talk to people who say opposite of that. Like LeBron, I don't like him as a basketball player. As a brand, I'm like, I really don't care. Okay. But as a basketball player, I'm like, you might as well play for the Yankees because I don't like you. That's where it is. This is how I see it. Basketball in the 80s and 90s was just amazing. Like I said, Michael Jordan was doing 300% of what everybody else was doing in the league. All right. He was doing 300%, like, of what everybody else. And there were guys who they couldn't keep up with him, but they were really fighting hard for second place, right? Like Gary Payton. Who else? I would say, was it Vince? What's his name? Vince John. I want to say Vince Coleman, but he played for the Cincinnati Reds. Now oh my God, Toronto Raptors. He dunked a lot. Somewhere around 2002, good basketball ended. All right, that's all I'm saying. And so you had Jordan doing 300% of anything his competition was doing, and LeBron. I'm not going to say he's not the best player in this era. He's not the best player right now, is he? No, he's not. He can't even play 2 games in a row. But of this era, LeBron James is the best player. But he's honestly only doing maybe 150% more of what the league is doing. You see what I'm saying? You see the difference? That's why Michael Jordan is the GOAT and why LeBron is a really, really, really good basketball player. Do you understand the difference there? Here, let me. This is an analogy I like. I was thinking about this, and I look at the Marvel universe and Endgame. How does it go? I'm not a fan, but I liked. What got me into watching the Marvel universe was the Guardians of the Galaxies, and I liked them, and I ended up watching the Endgame. Something happened. I think I got sick last year, so I just started watching all the Marvels. Blah blah blah. The Guardians of the Galaxy was my favorite. I love that story arc. Iron Man was a fun story arc to watch. The new Spider-Man, I like it, but I'm not proud of myself for liking it. My favorite Spider-Man is the Garfield kid, the second one. All right. Anyway, so I'm trying to remember what were the last 3 Avengers. Civil War, Infinity, and Endgame. All right. That was what 80s and 90s NBA basketball was. All right. What you have now is what are those guys called? The Eternals. They still have superpowers. Like, don't get me wrong. I didn't go see the Eternals. What's the matter with you? Like, I didn't go see the Eternals, but I'm sure they still have superpowers, and the guys in the NBA today are great. Just like the guys in the Eternals are superheroes, but they all wear pastel colors, and I'm not really interested. So anyway, let's just hope that my Celtics can come through. My Boston Red Sox can figure out how to operate under new management because they aren't doing that well. And even the Bruins win tomorrow's game against Buffalo. I don't even know who Buffalo Sabres. I am trying so hard to just do this. I'm not do this podcast, but just to be happy in sports. I used to have that life where sports would make me miserable. I was the guy, if my team didn't win, I was miserable. And then when I think it was 2017, 2018, when the Patriots lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, I was walking home from the bar that right down the street. I don't drink, but I would always go there to watch because that's a Boston bar. So I would go there. Well, actually, is it? They have a Green Bay flag and a Patriots flag, but I don't know which one's primary. I think the Green Bay is primary. But anyway, Boston fans would get there, and we lost, and I was walking home, and I was kind of like, you know what, that sucked. And then I was like, this is disappointment, and this is good. Emotional IQ was just starting around 2018. Was just starting. I was like a little emotional IQ fetus. So probably had an emotional IQ of maybe 4. But still, it was beginning. And that was the first time I was like, you don't have to tie your happiness to, you can watch other teams. Like in baseball, I love the Red Sox, but I'm a baseball fan. I'll watch whoever's playing. I'll listen to who's ever playing. If I'm at work, door dashing, and there's a game, I'll listen to it. All right. Football. I like to watch a couple football games. Of course, I'm a Pats fan. I like the Bears. I was born in Chicago, so I kind of have a little bit of allegiance to the Chicago White Sox. Don't like the Cubs. Chicago White Sox, Chicago Bulls, of course. What? Like, imagine being a kid who moves from Chicago to Boston, and you're there. So you have Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, and you're just like, wow, I could be fans of both these guys, right? Okay, Kevin McHale. There was a guy named. I'm seeing faces, but just not remembering names right now because I didn't expect. My brain is like, what are you doing right now? We haven't gone into this file in forever. I can't get it open. It's rusted shut. I don't have the information. I can't get this information out of the file. Move on. Talk about something else. So, what was I can think? Okay, let me think of the birds. Let me think of the Celtics that I can name right now. Matter of fact, that would be great if the Celtics nickname was the Birds. He was that good. Larry Bird was that good that the team nickname could be the Birds. Let's see. Okay, of course, Larry Bird, Danny Ainge, of course, Kevin McHale. Okay, those are all the white guys. Robert Parrish. I think that was one. Dennis. Not Rodman, but there was a Dennis. And did I already say Kevin McHale? Yeah. Okay, then we had Kevin Garnett. Anyway, I'm done with the sports because this is my extent of it. And I love sports. I think they're fun to watch. But they're not fun to talk to with people who are too into sports. And I don't want to be that guy, and this ain't that podcast, at least not today. So, but anyway, like I said, I was just, going to be recording a midweek episode every week. So Sundays you'll get the standard. Adam's got a plan. Adam's got an outline. Adam's got a voice for us to hear. And then in the midweek, I'm just going to punch in and just be like, hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? You chilling? Me too. All right, now let's start with, I did make myself a little index card. So let me see, what do I have to do right now? I need to do the read. Yes, let me do the read. The Adamant Podcast is pro-immigration and supports uniting voices of Ukrainian citizenship. Or if you're on Instagram and even TikTok, they got a TikTok page too. You can follow them with the @ voices for you, the letter U, and the letter A. Again, that's voices, the number 4, the letter U, and the letter A. There are Ukrainian families in this country right now who work here, pay taxes here, and are building lives here. For them, America is not just some idea anymore. It's their home. But their immigration status is still temporary. That means their future is still uncertain. No one likes uncertainty. I don't think anybody should like anybody having uncertainty. That's one of the main pulls for this is like I've lived in a life that is unstable, uncertain, and I don't like it so much that I don't like it when other people experience it. Okay, back to the read, Adam. Stop veering. What this group is trying to do is create a real path to change through Congress. Not magic, not wishes, real advocacy work. Their goal is to raise $100,000 over the next few months to support that effort. There are no guarantees, but they are trying to fight for their future, and that matters. So if you want to help supporting them, you can give them a follow on Instagram or TikTok. It's, again, voices, the number 4, the letter U, the letter A. And or you can donate to their cause, help them raise that $100,000 on their GoFundMe page, gofund.me/wipe, WIPE.hawk, as in bird, HAWK.room, as in place you're probably sitting in right now, unless you're in a car listening to this podcast or unless you're jogging. But if you're like in an office, I'm pretty sure like even the cubby is in a room. A cubby is like a room in a room. All right. But you know what a room is. So that do that, all right? And honestly, either way that you support them, whether it's with a follow or a donation or both, I think that's going to go a long way, and it's going to help you be a better person. I think advocacy helps us be a better person. I'm never going to be one of those people that's like, oh, giving money helps you be a better person, because I wonder about the line between giving but still not doing anything, or giving to avoid doing anything, but still support and talk about amongst your circles what immigration should be like in this country. I look at it like this. Like I said, I'm pro-immigration. I want there to be a straight path to citizenship in this country that allows, I think the same way Ellis Island worked should be the same way immigration works now. Ellis Island worked back then. Immigration should work that same way now. You get a boat here, get off, check some boxes, dot some T's, cross some I's, and then boom, right, sign your name. You live in New York now, probably. I think, yeah, because that's where Ellis Island was anyway. But it's not like that right now. Right now, it's very confusing. It's a very, I want to say, temperamental path. It's subjective, not objective. Look at it like this. Let's just say you wanted to go to Disneyland. All right, I think it's up in Anaheim. I've never been. You want to go to Disneyland. There's a path that you can follow and take so that you eventually end up in Disneyland if you follow that path. And I think with the same way, this country should have that same path. There should be an objective path that if you follow it, you end up in this country. So I applaud voices for Ukrainian citizenship in their efforts to do that. So please help them out. Now I'm going to go. I'm going to talk about something right now. It's a bit more sports, but it's also celebrity gossip. But before I talk about it, I want to say I don't want the Adamant Podcast to be a podcast about celebrity gossip. I don't want that. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. Celebrity gossip is beneath all of us. All right. What they are doing is beneath all of us. All right. We are too invested in our own journey. We are too invested in ourselves to really give a shit about what somebody else is doing that does not concern us, about what somebody else is doing who ain't even thinking about us. All right. That's pretty much the main way I look at celebrity gossip. So I just want to say that before I start talking about, girl, can you believe that Klay Thompson cheated on Megan Thee Stallion? I can't. I can't believe it. I saw that and I was like, you son of a bitch. Why would you hurt that girl? That woman, that lady, that queen. Why would you hurt her? And this is, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I cannot name one Megan Thee Stallion song. All right. I can't. I can recognize her like on the street. Like I'd be like, yo, that's Megan Thee Stallion right there. Hold my beer. All right. I can recognize her flow. She has a unique flow. And so I'm not a Megan Thee Stallion fan. And Klay Thompson, what has he got? Like 3 or 4 in world championship basketball rings? Like, the guy's a great basketball player. All right. He's one of the guys who made shooting the 3-pointer a staple in the NBA. That's another thing I don't like about the NBA. You got centers shooting 3-pointers. What? Who? Shaquille O'Neal is probably the greatest all-time center in the history of the sport. Maybe, probably. Unless Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in the room with me, then I'd say he's the second greatest. All right. Let's see, other Hakeem Olajuwon. There's a few. Anyway, what I'm saying is those guys couldn't shoot 3-pointers. They weren't shooting 3-pointers. And Klay Thompson is not a 3-pointer. He's not a center, but he is a hell of a 3-point shooter. And he's one of the guys who made it a staple of the game. that is today. And so they're both like, I know of both of their existence. I'm a hip hop fan, so I know of the existence of Megan Thee Stallion. I like the Celtics, and sometimes they play a team that has Klay Thompson on them, right? I think he's on the Suns now. I got the Know Everything machine in front of me now. Who just he got his rings with what is that? Steve Kerr, who was a Bull for the 96, 97, 98 rings. So ha, everything goes back to where I wanted. Oh, he plays for Dallas. Did he ever play for the Suns? And I knew he played for Dallas too. I don't know why. He never played for the Suns. He went from Golden State to the Dallas Mavericks. That is such a sad story, man. Just to be a Dallas Mavericks fan. I got a buddy. He's like a brother to me. He's one of my best friends in the whole world. And he's a Dallas Mavericks fan. And when they traded Luka to LA to the Lakers, Luka Doncic, I think I held him while he cried for like a week and a half. But anyway, back to Klay and Megan. So I know both theirs is. But when they got together and they were a couple, I got happy. Not in the, I guess, what's her name? Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce way. But in the, a cornball can pull a baddie way? That's Klay Thompson, when he got with Megan Thee Stallion, gave me hope as a cornball. That one day, this cornball can pull a baddie. That's why I was just like, you go, boy. But then I found out he cheated on her. I can't condone that. I do not condone infidelity of any kind. I am a serial monogamous to a flaw. Talk to my therapist. She'll explain that to you, or they'll explain that to you. I've had a bunch of therapists. I don't have one currently because I've had so many. I've learned that listening to the voices in my head is way better than the therapist. And I'm not gonna lie, the voices in my head are less likely to tell me what to do than the friggin' therapist. All right. But anyway, they'll all tell you, like, you're a serial monogamous to a point, to a flaw. But anyway, that's not the point. I'm also a cornball. And when I saw that Klay Thompson, and I don't really have any proof that Klay Thompson is a cornball, and I never thought he was. I'm going to be honest. I never thought he was until I saw him standing next to Megan Thee Stallion. And then everything about him said cornball. I was like, next to her badness, next to her badditude, he was reduced to a cornball in my eyes. And that lifted me up. That made me feel hope. And then he just blew it. I don't know. I'm not happy with it. And I've seen a couple of opinions where guys are just like, well, she raps about this and she raps about that. Yeah, she kind of deserved it, man. What was she wearing? That you sound like that. You sound like that. And I don't like people like you. All right? Understand entertainment a little bit better than you should or than you do. And then stop saying what you do. That makes you a lame. I don't mind being a cornball because I'm not a lame. You're a lame with that stupid opinion, thinking that, I don't know, just like, her music and her, I don't buy the reality of hip hop anymore. I don't hear hip hop and think, oh, that's, that man, that's real, blah, blah. I just don't. It's not there anymore for me. And so when I hear people, it's just performance, all of it. Especially hip hop and country are probably the two most performance based genres in music, hip hop and country. All right. And so that's going to be a tangent. So just stop and get back to Klay Thompson giving you hope and then taking it away. Because that's what he did. He gave me hope. Then he cheated on it and take it away. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, Adam, if a cornball can pull a baddie and then cheat on a baddie with another baddie, isn't that even better? No, because cornballs aren't infidelitous, if that's a word. I'm not going to look it up. I know I got all the information machine right in front of me, but I am not going to look up the word infidelitous. Oh, untrustworthy. But infidelitis seems like it would be a fun word to be a real word. So I'm still not going to look it up. But cornballs aren't, man. We're loyal. All right. We're fun. We're goofy. All you got to do is laugh at like one out of every 3 of our jokes. And we were, I got a phone call. Who's calling me? Oh, it's my daughter. And guess who's taking this phone call? I wonder if you guys will be able to hear her. Hey, what's up, Sweet Pea? Daddy's recording this podcast right now. And I think you can be on the podcast because Daddy's recording the podcast. And so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. There's nothing to be sorry about. What's up?
I was just wondering if you could talk.
Oh, I can't. So what's up?
I was bored.
You were bored and you called your daddy?
Yeah.
Let me smile into the camera. Because that makes me smile.
Aw.
That makes me smile. So, and the fact that you know that I have a podcast means I have to keep this podcast clean. And they know. I was just talking about Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson.
Oh,
And
you
yeah,
were going to talk about that.
and I was just explaining to them how cornballs aren't lames, because there are a lot of people who think that Megan Thee Stallion, because of what she raps about, kind of deserved or was asking to be cheated on. And I'm like, you're a lame if you think that. You're a lame. Like that's just lame.
Yeah, that's just.
And cornballs do not cheat.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
You can see that.
That's my bad.
Well, no, it's like, I mean, we're loyal. Laugh at every one of our jokes. And we'll go get like your Starbucks order. You know, like that's all you got to do. It's like we're not going to we're not high maintenance. You can be high maintenance, but we won't be. All right? So that's what I was talking about there. So you're putting away your laundry, I see?
Yeah.
All right. So give me about probably 30 minutes tops. I'll give you a ring back. Are you going to bed?
Okay.
You have school tomorrow? You have
No.
school tomorrow.
It's like 9.
Yeah. So what time you go to bed?
I don't know, 10.
Speak again. I want to see if maybe I know. Speak again.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah. You're being recorded. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So all right. So I'll call you back when I'm done with this. All right. I'm almost done.
Right.
I'm almost hit
Sorry
my.
for interrupting. Goodbye.
No, you didn't interrupt. You made it a fun podcast. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's Adam's daughter." You know.
Oh, great.
All right. Love you. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Now I got to figure out how to. It's recording on what end? Something happened. Let me figure this out and then start recording again right there. All right. Now it's recording again. Nope. That recording that messed up something on that end, but not on this end. So, I'm good. All right. So my daughter, that was a great dad moment. I'm glad you guys got to share that dad moment with me, but let me get back to it. Yeah. Cornballs don't cheat. Ladies, you got a goofy guy who's trying to take you out, you know, he's only going to ask once. All right. Because he's serious and he will take no for an answer. But if he comes up to you and says, "Hey, you want to go out?" You say yes, because that's a good man. Cornballs are good men. Most of the time I can't, geeks are horrible. Lames are horrible. Jocks, I don't know too much about. I'm more of a cornball than a jock. I've always been more of a cornball than a jock. I'm an athlete, but never really a jock in the sense of like athlete firm. I write poetry. I think if I didn't write poetry, I'd be more of a jock. But I think my being an athlete and writing poetry and being a writer kind of makes me a cornball. But anyway, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. So that, all right. And other cornballs out there who are also looking up to Klay Thompson, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Now I think all we got is Jonathan Majors, who's got the other baddie named Megan. Megan Good, Jonathan Majors. that cornball. And I do have evidence against Jonathan Majors. 2023, he's doing his, is that when Creed 3 came out? And he's doing his press tour somewhere around whenever Creed 3 came out. Ugh, didn't like that movie. Whenever Creed 3, it was the opposite of what a Rocky universe movie or Rocky franchise, because that's what Creed is. Creed is of the Rocky franchise. It was the opposite of that. One day I'll talk about it, but right now it still hurts. But anyway, Jonathan Majors is doing his interview tours. I don't know if he was on Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, or whose show, but he's doing his tours and he's got this little mug he carries with him everywhere. And he starts talking about the mug. My grandma told me, she was like, and it was like, it keeps me in the mug. And she's like, boy, don't you ever not take this mug nowhere. And then I was like, you're a cornball, man. That you are giving me some real cornball energy. And so, I think I'm not knocking him as an actor. Remember, I do not consider cornball to be a pejorative. So I'm not speaking ill of him either. But a couple of movie selections, I saw Magazine Dreams. That was, oh my God. Again, still hurt by how bad that movie was. But Creed and Magazine Dreams were two movies that were so poorly written and directed that I don't think he stood a chance as an actor in those movies. You see what I'm saying? I think that those are poorly written for him not to show his talents. So, but anyway, he got Megan good. So he's got to be doing something right in his life. All right. That making her happy or making God happy, who told her to get with him. And so that's how that works. So I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. I genuinely don't, because that just gives me hope. Not only that, but honestly, Jonathan Majors moving on from the insanity that he was involved in to Megan Good also shows that, you can go home again. If you know, you know. So Jonathan Majors, we take the dunce cap off of Klay Thompson and put it on you. And the dunce cap, well, it's not really a dunce cap. No, Klay Thompson is wearing a dunce cap now. We give you the honorable Burger King crown. That is definitive cornball behavior. A grown man wearing a Burger King crown proudly is now presented to Jonathan Majors as king of the cornballs. So, with baddies. So, I should have. I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to call those two gentlemen cornballs. But it's not. I didn't decide to call them cornballs from my lens. How I see the world. That's how I see the world. And I look at the world in a way that helps me feel better about being myself. And so now you understand how I can see Klay Thompson and Jonathan Majors as cornballs. I just need to feel okay. I need to feel normal sometimes. All right. So I think I should wrap that up with, I'm going to end the podcast with that right there. Like I said, this is a midweek episode. I want to punch in and practice turning my thoughts into coherent words, my ideas into coherent words. And I feel like I did a good job at that tonight. If I were to go on, it'd just be pushing the button or pushing the envelope, or what is that thing you do when you go too far and you're just like, you should have quit while you're ahead. I'm quitting while I'm ahead right now. That's what I'm doing. So, I want to remind you guys about your homework that I gave you on the last episode. Make sure you listen to the album 1984 by Van Halen straight through. No skips. That's the no skip album of the week. And we're going to talk about that on the next episode. Oh man, I did it. And it was such a fun listen. And I want you guys to also check out the podcast Between the Bells with a Z. Between the Bells with the Z. It's on Instagram and TikTok. It's hosted by Coach Joe Vargas and Coach Magdalene Duarte. They are two boxing coaches, professional boxing coaches, and Coach Joe Vargas has been in the game for years on years on years. Coach Mags, she has been in the game not as long, but she's been in the psychological game. So she's sports psychology, and the way they talk about the game, the sport of boxing is just great. And it's very informative. It's a fun podcast, great listen to. So please check them out. And see what else I reminded you about the homework, told you about the podcast. Email me, thepeacefuljedi@gmail.com. Just like it sounds, no uppercase, no underscores, just thepeacefuljedi@gmail.com. Tell me what you want to talk about. Tell me what you think. Email me your highlight of the week, because that's what we're going to be going over in the next episode. The highlights of the week. I like people to think about their highlight of the week. Carry that with you to help keep you above the fray. You know, no matter how little it is, something good has happened that you can use to get you to the next good thing. No matter how, and I believe that we should all have a highlight of the week. Eventually, you're going to start having highlights of the days. Highlight of the day, this hoodie. Coach Joe, let me move this microphone so you guys can see it. Mike Tyson signature Venom. I can't pull it over because I got the headphones on. Mike Tyson, Coach Joe gave it to me. Just said, here, have it. It's yours. And I was just like, oh, really? Man, you should have seen, I was crying. I was like kissing his feet. It was great. I wasn't, because that would be, that would end our friendship. That's my best friend in the world, and I'm pretty sure that would end all of that if I were to do that. But no, I was super grateful, and that was the highlight. That was probably the highlight of my week too, but that was definitely the highlight of the day. So, but anyway, so email whatever thoughts you have on what I've said. Maybe you're a cornball. You want to express your cornballness to me. thepeacefuljedi@gmail.com. All right. So after you do all that, just checking my notes one last time. Stay up, do good, and have fun. All right, you guys? I love you. Bye.
Yeah, I think the words, but sometimes they don't come out of my mouth no good.